Why are there no controls for the video? That's so weird. No! That's even worse. Hi, and welcome to Gamersledge Podcast, where we try and figure out how to run the service we use. I'm one of your hosts, Mark, and joining me this week is Kate. Hi, Kate. And next to Kate is Mitchell. Hi, Mitchell. So we have lots to talk about this week. The first thing I need to do is kill that. Can you just stop it? Ah! I'm being attacked by a dog.
No, come here. Come on, let's go see.
You know, they changed the setup of the whole layout here, and I can actually not figure out how to get rid of the video screen now. Ah, there we go. Got it. Nope. I just got rid of the choice. Yay. Let's see if I can go back. Yay, that got rid of it. But I still see no way to stop sharing, which is crazy. Take it. Can I do this now? Nope. Oh, that's alright. We'll leave it up in the background, I guess, for now. So, let's do what we always do. Start by going around the room talking about what we've been playing. Kate, I'm going to start with you, because I know you love when I do that.
Not much, honestly. I played a little bit of Final Fantasy IX in the last couple of days, and did a little bit of the Monster Hunter World Beta, and that's it.
So tell us about the Monster Hunter World Beta, because I actually did not play it because I was crushed by staggering commitment issues of playing it. Is it Dark Souls-esque combat? Is it more in... Do you think it's going to take more time?
It's not like Dark Souls at all.
Really?
It's like open world RPG combat.
But no elements of the Dark Souls combat, because that's what I heard a lot of people comparing it to. That's why I'm surprised.
I played the first easy level, so no, it
okay.
wasn't hard. I didn't think of it. Well, I guess there's like weapon sharpening. That's not in Dark Souls though, so.
Yeah, no.
And like, you know, charging up your weapon to do attacks, that's not Dark Souls at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why people are saying it's like Dark Souls. Maybe because they're fighting the end level bosses that are hard.
Possibly? I don't know.
Nowadays, anything that's hard is like, it's like Dark Souls. It's not. So no, I only played like 5 minutes of it, so I didn't really do a lot of it. I mean, it looked great. Sounded nice. But I guess I'll try it.
Okay. So would you say that based on your experience with it, it'd be worth people's time?
Yeah, like it played I found it played very much like almost more like a Dragon Age or like that kind of like open world.
Oh, really?
Than it did like Dark Souls.
Okay. Got it. Cool. Did you watch anything?
Nope.
All right, then we'll move over to Mitchell. Mitchell, what have you been up to for the last week? Since
all
last
right,
we
well,
visited.
Yeah. So I played some more Smite, as I usually do. Played some Ruby Grim Eclipse, some of the story mode for that. Because I don't think anyone actually plays the multiplayer on that anymore. Then on my phone, I've been playing FFRK, Fire Emblem Heroes, and Pokemon Go with the Hoenn update. Speaking of Pokemon, I've also been playing Pokemon Ultra Moon, working my way through that still. And then for shows, I got through the first couple episodes of Gifted, and then I worked through the first 4 episodes of Runaways, and I've worked through the first season of Knights of Sidonia, and I watched an anime movie called Blame. So yeah.
Now, did you get the free PS Plus pack for Smite that came out yesterday?
I play it on my computer, so
Oh.
I don't know if if they got it on the console or not. So
Yeah. Gotcha. All right. Well, I have been playing a couple things, a lot of mobile games, mainly because I don't have a ton of time for the rest of it. But what did I play? So I made a list. South Park Phone Destroyer. Again, this game is really kind of fun. I really like it a lot. It's like a cross between a CCG and a MOBA, but it's like a MOBA light. It hides its MOBA-esque stuff, but it's kind of built into the gameplay. I played one called Nonstop Night, which is the opposite of a tap game. So in the tap games, it simulates you doing all this stuff, and you just keep tapping your finger on the screen. In this one, all the stuff that it simulates, you actually have to wait for it, and you tap the screen.
Huh.
So it was a pretty interesting little game. I'm also playing one called Tunnels and Trolls Adventures, which is kind of a hardcore old school D&D type of setup. And so far it's free, so I'm enjoying that too. Played some Star Trek Online. The Winter Wonderland event is running now. They're giving away a Tier 6 green ship, so I'm working towards that. Played more Divinity Original Sin 2. And then I am actually setting up for a new stream on Twitch. We're going to do WWE 2K18. I'm making a new universe mode with 3 federations: Marvel, DC, and video game characters. And then I'll have them go through that process because I've kind of stalled out on the actual game and using actual wrestlers. So I figure now I'll just have the computer fight and people can watch, and that'll work. So yeah, lots of announcements, trailer drops this week, etc. So let's look at a couple of them. I know neither of you have seen. Let's do the Battle Angel Alita one first, because that's going to be the more interesting of the two in a weird way. Battle Angel Alita trailer. Alright.
That it actually looks like it's probably going to be a really good movie.
Oh, I'm sure it will. It's got the budget. It's got the director.
The computer graphics aren't quite there yet to make that not look Uncanny Valley fake.
Oh, yeah!
Especially when it has her with the other dude who's just like the body with the human face.
Right.
Because that looks so much better. Like, there had to be a better way to show that she was not human than just giving her really creepy eyes, because it's not working.
Yeah, I mean... Go ahead.
Honestly, it doesn't really bug me at all, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm actually in Kate's camp. I think it looks really weird. And it's like, why... And we were kind of having this discussion beforehand. If you're going to make a anime robot, then why wouldn't the rest of her be anime also? Why would you only enlarge her eyes and that's it? It's a very, very odd choice. All those other robots, none of them had giant creepy eyes. It's very weird. But I think it will be a good movie because Cameron's directing. I mean, I love Waltz. I think he does well with his parts. So, I don't know. I'm interested. I will go see it. Excuse me. But,
I think it's just a strange artistic choice.
Yeah.
Especially the scene there I found it the most jarring was when she was on the back of the motorcycle with the dude.
I was just thinking...
really fake.
Well, I was just sitting there thinking, how is it that she's going to keep... No. How is it that she's going to keep bugs out of those giant eyes if she's riding on a motorcycle? She'd be twice as susceptible. Especially at high rates of speed.
Like if they wanted to do like a slight thing where she's not human, why not give her skin a sheen or something, almost like Data-esque?
Yeah, and if you looked, her arms were like that, and that looked fine.
Do it on
But,
her face.
yeah, something. All right, so that's the first one. It's the internet kind of broke in half with the debate of for or against.
And the thing is, it's like, aside from that, I think it looks like it's going to be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be good.
Although, I mean, it could also be another Avatar where everyone else thinks it's cool, and I think it's, like, boring as hell.
No, I'm actually right there with you on Avatar. Mitchell, did you like Avatar?
Yeah, but I mean, it was a good movie to me, but I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it. So again, and I was younger when I saw it. So
it was a beautiful movie, but I
Yeah.
just found the plot to be like, yeah.
Alright, trailer 2.
I'm kind of excited for this because I wasn't that nuts about the first trailer. There's just something about it that just
Yeah.
made me a little cold.
I think this one... no, stop. That is not what I said at all. What is it doing? 2, go. I don't want to give money to IGN necessarily. I love how, like, why is it I can... Oh, there it is. Is that the new one?
No, trailer 2 would be the new one, wouldn't it? 3 days ago.
Yeah, that's it. I love how he said, we will not be referencing any of my own movies in there, and yet they have the Back to the Future thing at the end, which I'm happy about, so don't get me wrong. Ah, stop! I can't figure out how to say
Hi,
That's
I'm
what-
Eric Voss, and
that's
among
what
the
you get
many
for
great
not
trailers we
turning
saw
off
at Comic-Con
auto.
was this very interesting.
Stop. Alright.
Why are we watching this?
We're not.
That's what you get for not turning off auto.
I can't seem to turn it off on this thing. And since I have no way to get rid of it now, this is actually kind of annoying that I can't get rid of this window whatsoever. Which didn't used to be the case. Can I just kill it somehow? Because normally you used to hit the play button and then it would go away, but now it's not.
I like that
So-
trailer a lot better than the other one.
Yeah, the nice part is that there are a lot of Street Fighter characters in there, a ton of them.
Well, and Tracer.
Yeah, and Tracer, which was not in the original book, but still, I'm alright
It
with
makes
that.
sense. Well, it's because it was written before Overwatch became
Right,
Overwatch.
exactly.
But it makes sense that she would be in there because it's such a... She's like Ryu now
Yeah,
in
pretty
level
much.
of pop culture-ness.
Yeah, so that I was pretty happy to see that. Lot of interesting.
Although it was a little... I didn't notice, like, with Olivia Cook playing, like, Artemis, she didn't seem to have, like, the wine stain birthmark that she has in the book in real life.
I think that they're going to deviate severely from that. I mean, Wade already is way too fit. And, even
Yeah.
at the beginning of the movie, so it's like, okay,
Well, in
sure.
the end of it, he does get fit.
He does at the end, but all these scenes that we've seen so far are
But
from
there's
him
a
from the
little
beginning.
thing- Yeah, because one of the things I really liked was that he liked her better because of her wine stain, as opposed to, like, when she was hiding it
And-
with her thing.
Yeah, we know IROC is going to have a well expanded role, which I could be up or down for depending. I mean, I like TJ Miller, so sure, why not?
I'm like on him, so I don't know.
Yeah, so
I don't dislike him. I don't know.
yeah. And then there's still the entire thing about his best friend, who's now an orc avatar instead of what that person's supposed to be. So I don't know. It looks like they are definitely making some changes. Obviously, they have to. I'm super now. what I thought your dad would be super excited about, Mitchell, is the fact that, okay, I don't think it's a spoiler to say this. We knew they weren't going to get all the rights to everything, and
that's not a spoiler. That's just legal fact.
Right, and the Japanese Spider-Man mech that was in the book, which plays a pretty heavy role. Pretty sure we saw the replacement for it in this trailer finally, which was the original Gundam, which I would figure Matt would be pretty happy about. You're on mute.
I like the Gundam. Gundams are awesome, honestly. But yeah, I saw it. My eyes kind of went wide when I saw it too. I noticed.
See,
now,
I don't know how Matt would react because it's like, at the same time, he's such like a purist about some things that he'll be like, well, it's not the same as the book, so it's bad.
I don't know if he's read the book for Player Number One. So.
Yeah, I don't think he has. I would be the purist argument, and I'm fine with this. I mean, he has the DeLorean with the kit lights. I need nothing more.
Like you said, though, like you knew it wasn't going to be exact because of like licensing.
Well, I mean, it would be like a 9.5-hour movie, and although I would be down with a 9.5-hour movie, it obviously can't be. So yeah, they're going to have to cut some stuff and abbreviate some others. Mitchell, have you read the book?
No, I have not.
You have like 3 months, my friend. It is
cool.
It is a good read. It's my favorite book that's ever been made.
Good to know.
If you don't want to read it, then listen to the Audible audiobook narrated by Will Wheaton.
Fair enough.
All right, so those are the 2 big trailers. I guess I'll bring up the news on here since I can't get rid of the window. Twitter.com/Gamersledge if you like to follow along. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down. Yeah, that's still today. Blah, 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 blah. I think the 8th was the last one. There's actually a lot of news that happened this week, which is surprising because this is one of the slowest news periods and game release periods of the year, but there was a lot of traction this week on different properties, different things, different milestones. So, yeah, let's get into it. Oh, did either of you see the Death Stranding trailer?
Yes.
Yeah.
I ended up seeing it twice because they showed the exact same thing at PSX that they showed at the Video Game Awards.
My dad showed it to me.
All
I can say is Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, it looks very Kojima-like. I'm very intrigued, though.
I think it's a really interesting premise. I like that they can scientifically scan for them, but obviously it's not a perfect system. Obviously. But yeah, that was one that I was really surprised about. I think this might have been after the... Yeah, it was after. So, the Video Game Awards occurred last week. We'll have a little bit more on them. There is a news piece about that at the end of the thread for today. But did well. Mario Odyssey won Best Game of the Year.
No, it didn't. Breath of the Wild did.
Oh, did it?
Yep.
I thought... What?
No, we were talking about it earlier. I said Mario should have won it over Breath of the Wild.
Oh, I thought you said it did win it over Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild won.
Oh, okay, good. That's the way it should have... Yeah, okay, great. I agree with this worldview. In fact, I'm still having severe problems playing Mario because there's no shield for me to glide.
See, that's not a problem with Mario, though.
Yeah, I agree, but the fact is the other game came out first, and I sunk over 100 hours into it, so now I'm playing this one, and it's just similar enough that I'm like, I think it adds something to it. Fortnite Battle Royale has a new 50 versus 50 mode,
Oh my god.
which is actually a really interesting thing because most of the time when I was playing before, I was going it alone or I had one friend and we'd team up the two of us. Having it automatically parse 50 people onto your team, that's kind of interesting. I'm really interested in checking that out. But that's live now, and it's still free, so you can feel free to check it out.
That's a lot of people in one map, though.
It's 100 people. It's what it is already, actually. It's just now, instead of being broken up into, pockets of 2 to 4, it's now 50 people versus 50 people.
Oh. Wow. Fortnite's got big maps then, I guess.
They do. So we saw at E3 the announcement of A Way Out, which is a 2-player game that you had to play with friends online. There was no way to there was no single player for the game. Requires 2 people. And everybody was like, well, how's that going to work? Well, the answer is, if I were to buy a copy of Way Out, then I can let Kate play for free without having to buy the game. She gets what's called Friends Pass, and then she can play online with me as long as I own the game. Which I think is a pretty interesting way to do that.
Yeah. Not bad.
And I figured that might actually spur 2 people to split the cost as opposed to, one person buys it, the other one pays for free. That doesn't seem fair.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also, the game is now infamous for its creator Tommy Wiseauing all over the Video Game Awards.
Mm-hmm. That is very true. Hey, Mark.
He's like the one end of the meme, and the word clapping guy is the other end of the meme of those 2 days.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Let's see. THQ's Nordic winter survival game leaked. It's called Fade to Silence. Did you see the trailer of this?
Yeah.
Nope.
It's I don't want to watch the whole trailer in here, but to me, it really looked like they took a couple pages from Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, the way they framed the shots and kind of set the atmosphere. I'm interested. I don't like horror games.
I forgot to mention I did play some of Senua too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice. Media Molecule had a presentation at PSX about Dreams. Kate, I don't actually know where you stand on these types of games, like Little Big Planet and stuff where you can create.
I love Little Big Planet 1.
Right.
And I found the other 2 just got progressively weaker.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm iffy on this one. Like, they used up all the goodwill of the first Little Big Planet on the 2 sequels, and I was just like, eh.
See, I'm interested, but I would be far more interested if they would give me some way to build it using the PSVR. I still think that might be an ace up their sleeve as the first real, truly creative game maybe for VR. So I'll be interested to see if they have... Because otherwise, I don't know what they've been working on all this time. This thing has been in development for forever. And it's pretty, but still, I kind of think they have had to been doing something else also.
Fair enough.
We talked about the Video Game Award Show. We did the
It's
Ready
actually
Player
really
One.
good. The Video Game Awards show. Jeff really did a good job with it.
Yeah, well, so that... I'm skipping ahead in the news, but...
Oh, we're going to talk about it? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it a little bit. So we talked last week about the... Mitchell, can you mute? Sorry. There's a lot of noise there. Thank you. We talked last week about the new Marvel podcast universe, which, Kate, I don't know if you saw that or not, but
I did. I just don't care.
Yeah. Well, so as if that wasn't enough, they're now launching a new Marvel animated universe. So you've got the MCU, the MTU, the MPU, and now the MAU. That's a lot of U's and M's.
Well, didn't the MAU kind of already exist with the Spider-Man show
No.
on Disney?
So this is a brand new universe that will have continuity in and of itself, separate and apart from the Spider-Man universe. So this is a brand new bunch of things. So I don't know if they have plans to incorporate the Spider-Man stuff in at some point, but it doesn't seem like it at this point.
All right, cool.
Which makes sense since they don't own the rights to Spider-Man still.
Right.
So I would imagine not.
I imagine some of those universes are going to join the dark universe on the trash heap.
Maybe. If this Disney Fox buyout thing does happen, I'm going to be really interested to see what happens with the properties like Cloak and Dagger and that type of stuff that's out now, to see if it'll be ingrained and incorporated into the Marvel television universe some way, or Gifted, or things like that, or
the
Legion.
television universe is like really different from the movie universe, though, so maybe not.
I would think Legion would have the best chance because they've already kind of been toying with the multiverse type of thing. So I would love to see that because that is a phenomenal show, and if they somehow hook that up to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something like that, I'd be alright with that. Which is something that I still haven't watched, which is the 2-hour premiere of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I'm getting cranky about it.
I didn't even realize that it was still on the air.
It's great. It is great. And they are doing a good job with it. And now they're in space. And speaking of space, Naughty Dog has a lot of space for all that money they've made, selling 41 million copies of the Uncharted series. That's a lot of Drake quips.
I still haven't played 4 or Lost Legacy.
I still haven't played from 3 on, and I own all of them.
Why is it that everything you touch always falls apart? Sorry.
It's because Sully's old. He can't help it.
No, it's actually everything Drake touches that falls apart.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of things that have hit sales goals worldwide, Switch sales have now topped 10 million, and it's actually selling on pace with PlayStation 4 right now. Which
I'm surprised that they have that many in play.
Yeah, I know, right? But I think I have not seen shortages of them around me, and I was one of the hardest markets to fill for a while. So I would imagine that they really cranked it up for Christmas, which is a nice change that you can actually find a well-selling product that is owned by Nintendo. I still can't find the Super NES classics, but that's okay. Give them their wins where they can have them. Ni no Kuni 2 has been delayed into March, and March is already shaping up to be one of those horrible months where everything releases at once.
Oh my.
It's all coming out at March.
It's Ni no Kuni 2, and then Ready Player One, and then there's a couple other games.
One's a movie and one's a game, so that's okay.
There are a couple other games. I don't know if I can click on this and see. I think it did mention a couple of the other ones that were...
Was the first Ni no Kuni good?
Yeah, I liked it from what I played of it, but
It was amazingly good. It was just really long, and I just didn't have time.
The art style, though, and
amazing.
animation is beautiful. It's if you know Studio Ghibli, it looks a lot like that.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was Studio Ghibli for the first one.
Yeah.
It is not for the second one, but they're doing their best
to replicate the style.
Yeah.
I mean, the style looks similar, so.
I thought they said... no, this one doesn't. There was another one that mentioned... there's a couple games coming into... Oh, Far Cry 5. That was it. Far Cry 5 is coming out. Ooh, no, I don't want to leave the chat. Far Cry 5 is also coming out in March. And I think there's still another 2 games on top of that, but I'll find out which ones.
Devil May Cry High Definition Collection, Frantics, Golem, Bravo Team, Yakuza,
Yakuza, I think, is one of the ones I was thinking of.
Far Cry 5, God of War, March 22nd.
Oh yeah, that's it. God of War. That's the other one. Yeah, just a little game. So yeah, that's going to be a pretty stacked month. Punisher confirmed for a second Netflix season. Did you watch it yet, Kate?
No.
Are you going
I haven't
to?
watched season 1 either.
I have not yet either. The Last Guardian now has a VR experience that's for free that you can download on the PlayStation Store. Just as a quick PSA. So last week we talked about Destiny and their total dick move of locking all the people who bought the game but did not buy the DLC out of the end game content. And they released a statement saying, "We've made some mistakes." And I'm like, you think? So they are rolling that back and figuring out ways to not make people buy DLC if they don't want to. But yeah. I was on a forum board about this, and somebody said, I would have thought, after the years they sunk into Destiny 1, and all the progress they made towards the end of it, that they would have done a better job with Destiny 2. And I just kept my mouth shut and moved on to the next post. Because this seems to be a pattern with them. So this is the part about the VGAs. So 202% increase in viewership. They went from 3.8 million to 11.5 million viewers this year. And on top of that, they installed some kind of Twitch interactive widget that 70% of all Twitch viewers interacted with. That helped them vote on games or say what they liked, say what they didn't like. So a lot of people interacted with it. So it was a good... that's really bodes well for the continuation of the Video Game Awards.
It was a really good show.
Yeah.
Like, the orchestra was great, and they kept things concise, like with trailers and presenting and stuff like that.
Well, except for that Death Stranding trailer. It did last like 19 and a half minutes, I swear to God. It seemed like...
fair, though, that game has
been
in development for like 50 years.
I know.
And it even was more super hype after the fact compared to the Salmon X that was PSX.
Mm-hmm. Which I am a diehard Sony fanboy.
Me too.
I freely admit this.
And it was awful. It was awful.
And I went to the first one, and last year I was like up in the air. Could have gone either way. I could have gone and been okay with it. And this year I'm just like, thank goodness I didn't spend the money.
If I had paid to go there, I would have been super pissed.
Yeah. I think they're going to have to eventually make a choice between Paris Games Week and PSX. Because if they want people to keep going the PlayStation experience, then they're going to have to offer them something new that they haven't seen already.
Yeah, because it's like they already had the Death Stranding trailer was already at Video Game Awards. Soul Calibur was already at Video Game Awards. That From Software Bloodborne 2 tease was already at Video Game Awards.
Yep.
They didn't show anything else about that. The only thing at PSX that I was like, hey, that looks pretty cool, was that Katamari game with the holes.
Yep. And it's... See, the first year was them coming off that killer E3, like the best E3 ever.
Yeah.
And they had, like, all this new stuff to show, like the new Ace Combat VR. You know, they had a ton of VR stuff to show. Nobody'd seen any of that stuff. And that was great, because that tided us over for the big game announcements, if you will. But now there's just, like, nothing. And it's like,
And they also, like, wrecked it because not only did they not show anything, like, big, they also spent forever talking about stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it'll be. I'm actually thinking that I still feel that this year's E3 for them was not good. It wasn't nearly as strong as it should have been, and this PSX was weak. So I'm hoping next year is an upcycle for them, and they get back on track with showing us a bunch of stuff, making us excited for stuff. We'll see. Phoenix Wright is now available on mobile devices, so you can get your objection on iOS and Android, which that's kind of cool. Dragon Ball Z, or sorry, I do it every time. Dragon Ball Fighters is announced through Famitsu that there will be Goku Black, Beerus, and who is the other one?
Whis?
Is it? I don't.
That would make the most sense.
Oh,
and
Hit.
I don't know.
It's Hit.
I don't know who that is. Actually,
Hit is the assassin from Universe 17, right?
Oh, right. Part of the tournament.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Adult Gohan was also announced earlier.
which one?
Adult Gohan.
Oh, yes. So I'm super excited about this, actually, because if Beerus is in there, and Goku Black is in there, and Hit is in there, then there is a possibility that we could see Goku's new transformation in the game. I don't know if we're going to get it or not, but I just want to know how long it takes to actually charge a Spirit Bomb in this game, since the other people would kill you before you could even get it like a quarter charged.
There isn't like a charge thing like that. Like
I
think
know.
He could just do it.
Yeah. I don't know that we've seen Spirit Bomb in the... Have we seen Spirit Bomb as a finisher?
Yeah, it's like one of his like supers. Level
Okay.
Because there's different levels of super.
Right. Yeah, because I know his Super Saiyan 3 is one of those situations where it's like a 3-meter move, and then he gets a combo with it, and then that's it. But yeah, I'm interested to see where this. I
Mr.
do
Satan
have to.
Still hasn't been announced. It's sad.
I'm okay with that. Believe it or not.
What?
Mr.
Sorry,
Satan,
space.
Mr. Satan hasn't been announced, and I'm okay with that. I mean, it would be so sad. He'd have to have like any
You'd
attack.
rather 3 Gokus and not an original character, like a different character?
I mean, I would, but at the same time, I want all the Gokus represented because everybody likes different ones, you know?
There's already 3 of them in the game.
Yeah, I know.
Satan wouldn't be able to really do anything. I mean, he's mostly just stage acting.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, he would have to take double damage from every hit.
Yeah.
Now, if you could somehow competitively play him, that would be amazing. But yeah, I don't know. I think there are other characters that I would rather see them do. I'd like to see a Kai in there, you know, or if Beerus is in there, then they could definitely have one of the Kais.
If Whis isn't in there, then if Beerus is there, they should probably put in Whis too.
You would think so.
I know a lot of people want Broly.
Or his brother too.
But I don't think is Broly is Broly canon for this now? I don't think he is.
They put an original character in it, so I mean, they can make it whatever they want.
Yeah.
I mean, if they put in Broly, they're gonna have to put in Bardock too.
Yeah. But all right, enough Dragon Ball Z. We're good with Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. Crytek is suing Cloud Imperium Games, which are the makers of Star Citizens, because when they first started this crazy ride, which now has them over like $200 million in crowdsource funding, there was a collaboration agreement that SIG would use Crytek's engine to build Star Citizen. But apparently there was a falling out between them, and then SIG jump to Lumberjack, which is a free version of Crytek's engine offered by Amazon. And so Crytek is suing them for breaching a contract. But
It'd kind of be funny to see if that falls through.
Well, the question is exactly what the contract is, because if it was the contract that was in perpetuity, great, I get that. Then sure, yeah. If it's written in blood that we will work with each other till the end of time, okay. But if they ended their original contract and then just found a better deal, then it seems like this is going to go nowhere fast. So we'll see. We'll see. It's interesting, but that just happened today. So we'll see how that plays out in the near future. Something near and dear to my heart. Patreon sent me an email today and posted all over their website. We screwed up. We're sorry. Which I thought it was a nice, genuine, heartfelt apology from the CEO to all people that use Patreon and all the patrons. The damage is kind of done because a lot of patrons fled over the last 2 weeks from Patreon. Basically, if you've not been following this, the way it worked before was, Kate, let's say you pledge $5 to me on Patreon. Well, I don't get all of that $5. They take the credit card processing fees and all that stuff out before I get it. Patreon said they were going to make some changes on behalf of the creators that would have charged you, Kate, the fees on top of your pledge. So instead of pledging for $5, you would have been pledging for like $6.75. And they were going to break it up into a bunch of different payments. It made no sense, really, when you looked at it in terms of efficiency. And so a lot of people, myself included, wrote to Patreon saying this is a bad decision, and the overwhelming majority actually was heard through, and they said, hey, we're not going to make these changes. The problem is that a lot of Patreon people lost their patrons if they were small donors, because it really affected the dollar donors.
Right.
And so they lost a lot of those people, and a lot of the people who were pledging are saying, I'm not going back to Patreon. So luckily we don't have those problems. I'm hoping we won't see anything like that in the near future. And if you would like to become a patron and support us, it's patreon.com/Gamersledge. Shameless plug. Hooray. And that's it. That's all I have for news for tonight. Unless I've overlooked something that...
Street Fighter 5 in Street Fighter news.
I did not see this at all. What's going on?
Well, they announced a 30th anniversary collection of 12 of the old games all in one package. So it's like all the Street Fighter 2s, all the Street Fighter Alphas, all the Street Fighter 3s, so Street Fighter 3 New Challengers, Second Impact, and Third Strike. 4 of them will be online. So they announced that one, which is cool. But then they also announced Season 3 characters.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it was the most hype I've been in for Street Fighter 5 ever.
Sagat,
really cool. Sagat, Sakura, Cody, Blanca, G, who is actually pretty sure it's Greg from Bloody Roar, and Shadow Chick. But they had like the opening cinematic for Arcade Edition, and it was really cool.
Did they give a price? Did they give a price?
No, they didn't. If you already own Street Fighter 5, it's free, I think.
What? For the 30th anniversary collection?
No, for the Arcade Edition.
Yeah, no, I'm asking about
Oh, no, they didn't announce a price for it, but I can only assume it's probably like 30.
That would be amazing if it's 30, but I think it seems like it'd be...
Well, it's all the old games, though, so...
Yeah, but they have to port them and then give them online functionality and matchmaking and all that, so I'm sure they're going to... I don't know, it'd be interesting to see. If they do that at $30, that is going to be a killer price.
Yeah, Sakura looks great. Cody looks great. Like, when did he
Sakura,
get so hot?
Cody, Sagat, Blanca. I forgot who the fifth one I saw it was. I was just looking it up. Right.
Um,
Right.
Speaking of amazing things like compilations that came out this week, I don't know if you saw this, but there was like no press about it that I saw anywhere. No press releases, no announcements. But on the PSN this week, Dragon Quest 1, 2, and Space Ace as a bundle for $20, all released on the PS4 this week. Which is kind of crazy. So, if you are a fan of old games, now if they just get that hologram game that went with those around the same time, that'd be like the perfect collection for me. I remember it was a Western. That's all I remember. It was like a Western hologram game in a white console. Alright, so what else do we have to talk about? I don't think there's much, do you?
No.
Not that I know, no.
Next week will be Game of the Year, so we'll take this opportunity to thank our patrons, all the folks who pledge at the $5 level and above. So thank you, Naomi, thank you, John, thank you, Bobby, thank you, Regina, thank you, Justin, and thank you, Ian. That's the sixth person. Thank you for your continued patronage. And if you'd like to get your name on every show that we do, you can do so by pledging at the $1 level and above, and we'll end out the show.
Isn't Turo on there too?
Different, Arturo, not Turo.
Oh.
Different person.
Okay.
And he's only at the $1 level, but we'll thank him anyways. Thank you, Turo. But yes, so if you pledge at the $1 level, you get your name on the scroll at the end of the show, where we thank all our patrons there too. So then that's going to bring us to final thoughts, and I'll start with Mitchell. Final thoughts for the week.
A lot of good things happening, it seems. So looking forward to Star Wars Episode 8 coming out here. So if you're interested in that, go see it this weekend.
9.7 on IGN, and most outlets are reporting it's very, very good. And very different from the last ones, which is what I kind of cared about.
That's good. That's all for me.
Okay. Kate?
With this Ready Player One talk, a new book just came out by Jason Segel, the actor. It's a teen book called Otherworld that is essentially like Ready Player One, but for teens and more like relevant, because Ready Player One is super 80s.
It is.
Which is, if you're like a younger person, isn't relevant to you. So if you like that kind of stuff, check out Otherworld. It's really good.
And my final thought for the week is I keep hearing the rumblings, and now that Lin-Manuel Miranda is like the executive producer and composing music for the Name of the Wind television series, I'm getting super excited. That's the Patrick Rothfuss books, which are my second. The two in that trilogy are my second favorite book. Can I do that? I do that. Those two books are my second favorite book because it's all one book. But so watch for that coming soon. Should be, I believe, this year. So we'll see. And let me make sure that I'm not missing anything else. There we go. Okay. So then we'll end the show as we always do with a sage piece of wisdom and advice to carry you through to next week. So, a Spanish magician tells the audience he will disappear on the count of 3. He says, uno, dos, and then poof, he disappears without a trace. Until next week, game on! You're going to have lots of time while I type in the YouTube thing. Because I didn't queue it up, I forgot. Gamersledge.com. Kate, you didn't say you wanted to kill me on that one. I think you must have liked it.
Stop listening.
You just stopped listening. Yay. All right. So
It was
yeah.
slightly more intelligent than the usual ones.
Slightly.
Slightly.
I'll take that. Good run. There we go. So thanks for watching, everybody. Until next week, game on.